Hey y'all, welcome back to the Hey Dad, Can You Talk podcast. I'm Bailey, I'm your host, and each week we call my dad Toby and we just have a fun short discussion about different things like parenting, marriage, mental wellness, things that everybody's struggling with or wants to talk to somebody about, but maybe you don't have that person to call. Well, I have been around for 34 years and I've been talking to my dad for most of those years about my struggles, and he just always has really great wisdom to share. And so we thought it would be helpful for you guys to get to peek in on these conversations and also get some of his wisdom. And so we're excited about these weekly conversations. We're excited you're here, and I'm looking forward to today's podcast. So let's get this show on the road. Let's call my dad.
Well, hello, Bailey. Was that a telephone ring or the doorbell ringing?
Well, you continued to ask me to keep ringing, so I wasn't sure what you were asking for.
Well, sweetheart, I'm busy. I can't pick up on the first ring every time.
How are you today?
I am just fine and dandy. It's about 52 degrees here, and the wind is blowing, which means it's down in the 40s in the wind chill. So after it being so hot this weekend and last week, I'm excited to be home with a little bit of cool weather.
I'm jealous. It's definitely like 70 to 80 degrees here.
Well, because Jesus is right here in North Texas, B.
I guess so. Have you had a good morning? Did you make Mom a fire?
No, it wasn't that cold. It's got to be colder than that. You know, we have rules around here about when we make chili and when we build fires.
What are the rules?
Well, for chili, the high temperature has to begin with the 6 if it's or lower. If it begins with a 7, then no chili for you.
Okay.
And if you're going to build a fire, it has to start with a 4. Like the actual temperature has to start with a 4.
Okay. All right. So that wasn't today.
No. So that's just, those are principles that we have agreed upon. Nothing personal, just principle.
Great. Well, I'm getting excited because in a few weeks you're going to be visiting for Thanksgiving. Are you pumped about that?
I will be. I've got a few trips in between now and then, but I will definitely be excited when it's time to get there and to fry up a turkey and to have all of that. It's going to be fun. See the kids.
What are some of our Thanksgiving traditions that you can think of?
Well, one tradition is that you and Mom tell us what we're eating. I mean, there's this, this facade of, hey, what would everybody like? And by the end of it, Grant and I have realized that we're basically having whatever you guys are making.
He gets to say because he always wants deviled eggs. And you get to say because you always want fried turkey. As
opposed to what?
Yeah, you're right. Everybody wants that.
Yes, that's not just me, sweet girl.
Well, speaking of the holidays, we're going to be doing a few episodes here upcoming. These are going to be shorter. I didn't warn you of that because we're going to kind of be highlighting like just a little. Our focus is going to be on holiday stress and the struggles and emotions that the holidays can bring, because we're doing a really big focus on that topic in December. And so right now, these are kind of some preview episodes, Father, to kind of point to what we're going to be doing in December. So
are all of you noticing that she's directing these comments to me live in the middle of a podcast call? She's saying, hey, by the way, here's what we're doing. This is how she does me. I think it's a great idea. Let's get going before Prissy yells at us.
Well, I just wanted to talk about, if you can think back on your younger years.
Wow. Wow.
Maybe when you were, you and Mom had been married, I don't know, 15 years or less, and talk about maybe what, for you personally, what the holidays brought. Obviously, there's a lot of good things, but was there any hard things about the holidays? And especially when you were struggling with your panic and anxiety. Do you feel like that triggered anything, or kind of share your experience?
Well, yeah. I mean, take the anxiety, panic, any of that battle out, and you've got, the stress of the financial end of the holidays, and that, even though Dave Ramsey says, hey, man, it comes every year, you ought to plan for it. We weren't really great at planning for it because we didn't have a lot of resources at that point in our life. And, you don't think about, you think about toys or stuff for your kids, but you don't think about, man, like the grocery bill goes up, the electricity bill goes up. I mean, there's all of those things involved. There's some stress there. There's stress in the whole family thing. And, the stress of being away from your family as a person who's newly married, along with the stress of, everybody's got the crazy uncle or the crazy cousin. And I always say, if you say, oh, no, I don't have one of those, you're probably that person. But you've got, those family dynamics, along with a bunch of kids not sleeping in their beds and changing routines. So all of that in and of itself is enough for there to be some stress. And then if you add into it, some battles with anxiety, panic, fighting through some depression, I think it makes it even tougher.
Yeah. So I just want to focus on, if you have one tip or one piece of advice for people going into the holidays, something that we can start doing now, whether it's a mindset that we're practicing or a tool to use just before it all happens, because I know you always talk about how we can be proactive instead of reactive. So do you have anything that you could share with us on how we can proactively prepare for the holidays?
Yeah. I think we've talked about this before. I'm not sure, but I always tell people balance is a myth. You can't live. People say, I just want to be balanced. Well, you can't. It's like how long can you balance on a seesaw? Before your thighs start burning or you start, sweating like a pig at the county fair. I mean, balance is a myth. So don't aim for balance. You aim for rhythms. And so we know this season is coming. We know that there's going to be some time, sleep, relational challenges. And so you want to spend some time before this season begins, making sure your cup is full, making sure that you're getting plenty of rest, making sure that you're practicing your breathing exercises, going through your 40 I ams, writing in your gratitude journal, finding your unforced rhythm of grace. If you don't know what that is because you're new, hey, welcome. We're glad you're here. Go back a few episodes. We talk about finding those things that really give you life, connect what's in your spirit to God's spirit that lives in you, and practicing those things. You have to invest more of your time doing that in this season before the energy required of that season. And so I always look at my life as, okay, I'm going to look at the calendar in front of me. What's going to take a lot of my energy? And I'm going to make sure, if at all possible, before and after, I'm going to be really focused on trying to fill my cup as high as I can get it filled, because knowing I'm going to get depleted in those seasons.
Okay, that's really good. So maybe like a practical thing could be to pick one thing, like whatever, for me, it might be going on a walk for 30 minutes by myself or getting up and, getting up like 30 minutes before my kids and having alone time. I don't know, but picking one thing and scheduling it into or at least into your week, because I know I can just get so busy that I'm just taking it one day at a time. And I don't plan the important things. I kind of can get behind and just be focused on what's coming at me versus, so, and I can already feel that happening. So I feel like if I were to do a better job of scheduling it out in my calendar, whether I like to use a digital one, but if someone uses a paper one, then that would be more intentional, especially coming up into Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah, I think, here's the challenge. The challenge is, as that time gets closer, your to-do list grows. And the first thing that gets crowded out is these kind of activities, because you say, well, I've got to get ready for the holidays. And I would challenge you that if you want to really experience the joy of the holidays, that your priority is, I've got to take care of me for the holidays. Like getting myself, my spirit, my heart, self-care is not selfish, because self-care is soul-care. And taking care of yourself, feeding yourself, getting yourself ready for the holidays is a lot more important than the lights on the house or the everything wrapped before Christmas Eve. I mean, it just is. And if you can just keep telling yourself that over and over again, I want to get me ready for the holidays. The best gift you can give your kids, your family, and yourself is a healthy you.
That's good. Okay, well, I think that's good for today, because I think that's something that we can all really put into practice right now. So thank you for sharing those things. And we will be talking about this a little bit more, like I said, throughout the weeks. And stay tuned for something big that's going to be happening in December.
Huge. Not big, huge. Humongous, gigantic. We cannot wait to tell you what we cooked up for the holiday season. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, if you haven't joined our community, I want to encourage you to go to beagoby.com, scroll down to the bottom, and it will say here, put your email in here. We're sending you encouragement on a weekly basis. We've got tools to help you, help your kids. We want you to be in our community. And if you are a regular part of our community, you listen to our podcast, you're getting our newsletter, it would really help us. Could you just share this with 3 people? Just 3 people. Could you say, man, you want some really cool free stuff to help you during the holiday season? One of the greatest gifts you can give is free. Give it to your friends. Share it with 3 friends. We want to get the word out to as many as we can. And that's the closest thing to a commercial bee I've ever done on this podcast.
I'm impressed.
Just important, though. I mean, these things, we're watching, hearing back from people all over the country that these tools are helping them, and we want to get them in the hands of as many people as possible. And the best way is going to be those of you who are in our family, inviting others to be a part of our family.
Yes. All right, Dad. Well, it's good to see you for a second.
Nice to see you, and nice cap, sweet girl.
Thanks. I try to pull off a cap like you.
Love you. Hope you have a good day. Hug my grandchildren for me.
Okay, well, love you.
Love you.
Oh, can you believe the holidays are almost here and that we're talking about it? It's kind of crazy, but also exciting. I know that the holidays can bring a lot of joy for people, but it can also bring other emotions that aren't so happy. And so I hope you will continue to tune in this month while we talk about ways we can be proactive in preparing for holiday stress that might come. And we are just so excited that we get to walk through the season with you, and also stay tuned for something we have coming in December. And make sure, in order to stay tuned, make sure you're subscribed and you're part of our Goby family. The link will be in the description of this episode so that you can join right there. It'll say join the Goby family. Just click that, give us your email, and then you will stay up to date with everything we've got going on. So we hope you have a great day. We'll see you next week.